just want to say I'm live right now making some content with you guys, the viewers, also giving away the battle pass, the newest battle pass, just in case you do like it. No harm, no foul, come cop it for free. But let's talk a little bit about Split. So not only did I get to play on Split myself while I was streaming, but better yet, I was able to watch a full lobby from the third perspective. They had people like Kaide, Tariq, some very, very skilled players in the match, who's overall very, very high elo. And I got to see how would they play on the new Split, how would they feel about the new reworks, their general reactions. And lo and behold, my predictions were pretty much fully accurate. When I first saw the Split leaks and I talked about them, I said they're not substantial, and the fact that we waited 5 months for this was kind of a joke. However, it was just me at the time, so I had to wait and see when everyone played. And yeah, everyone played, they finished, and they said, let's get off this map. You gotta keep in mind there was two main reasons for Split's original removal. One, they believed that having more than 7 maps would cloud the game and ruin the competitive integrity, and the second biggest reason is that they believed Split was at the time the least liked map. Of course, Fracture came along and probably took that crown, but the reason Split was the least liked map was because, unlike other maps, Riot had the data to back it up. They knew the defenders versus attackers was completely swayed and that the balance clearly wasn't there. So not only did they remove it, but we all expected the rework to come. And yeah, that's kind of where it fumbled. I think you need to understand the changes that happened to Split in some regards are substantial, and if it was to be done on any other map just to balance it out a little bit, tweak it, make it a little bit more engaging and fun, it would have also worked very, very well. But Split needed something more. Split needed that rework. Split needed a complete change, and I believe the changes that happened to Split weren't substantial, or I guess I'm almost certain, but we have to see stats in the long term, aren't substantial enough to fix the unbalancing or imbalance that comes with playing Split in general. And general consensus, again, we all played, we're like, this feels like the exact same shit. Truthfully, Split would need a lot more to be done with it in order to even have a chance at not only feeling more balanced, but feeling more engaging compared to especially the newer maps coming out. I mean, in contrast, we also all got to play Lotus, and love it or hate it when it actually comes out, I think it's actually a fun map and at least very, very engaging. So then there's two problems that we can segment. One is the engagement and fun of playing a map, and the second is, of course, the balance aspect. Now with Split, if we just want to wrap up the balance aspect at all, one of the biggest changes right off of the bat would need to be mid. They just completely didn't change mid. And wait, okay, I guess I can't say completely. They did remove the little ledge so you can hop up when coming from the attacker's side, but that's substantial, but that's not a rework. And in the end, the only way to tackle Split's really, really bad defender-sided nature is, well, you know, by removing as many angles as possible for the attackers to clear when they need to take site. But this wasn't fully imposed properly. Watch this. We know that here the biggest change that they made is that the fact that, of course, Split used to come out straight, used to be able to walk up here, and used to be able to sit down here, right? Okay. This doesn't exactly fully fix anything, because when you're an attacker, you push here, you still have to clear this way. The biggest thing that they wanted to do is that you wouldn't have to clear this way and then also clear this way, right? That's the biggest change originally. However, another way to look at it is if attacker was to dive into here after clearing it, it also shields them from the opposing team, right? It also shields them from an angle, but instead now anyone holding up here can also peek down here. Of course, defenders often actually smoke off where attackers would jump in from, meaning that they could also peek down towards the attackers pretty much safely if a smoke was placed correctly. So I don't really know how much this super helps attackers. All right, here, this is old Split. Okay, so you could, as an attacker, let's say you're Jet, you could updraft here, you could stand here, and you could aim down towards screen if you were to stand on the edge, and it gives you pretty safe long angle. They instead changed it to this. But how does this exactly help attackers is what I'm confused. I assume it's so no one can crouch in the far corner, but the amount of people really doing that was very, very, very nullified. So we have to think, what exactly is this change for? Would it be better to have just removed this entire thing and instead just made it diagonal here? So completely remove a corner altogether? Does that take cover away from the attackers? Again, I feel there's a lot of changes, but their purpose isn't fully clear. One of the more drastic changes, of course, was from this to this, which of course widens the area quite a lot. So yes, it gives them a little bit more room to play with, especially if util is raining onto them. So it's definitely a small help to attackers, but again, does it really change the whole too many angles for attackers is a problem? Does it make Split itself, less defender side, and yes, I think so, but only by a little, not enough to really sway the feeling of Split all around or make people all of a sudden like it. I think we needed to completely rework mid from the ground up. I think some new sections may have to be added or other sections closed, and it's honestly kind of what I expected when I heard that Split was kind of getting reworked. I just thought we would get not a new map, but just enough changes where it feels semi brand new. These will not make it feel semi brand new. However, with that being said, if we were to look at Split first version and Split now, they did keep changing things and it kept making Split a little bit better each step of the way. And I thought this final one would be a huge rework to fix it all up, but I'm afraid to say I don't think it is. I think Riot still has a little bit more work to do with Split. And even if you guys really believe that it's fine and it's totally balanced, it definitely isn't all that much fun still. Again, the changes don't make it drastically more fun. I think overall, one of the biggest problems, and I mean this seriously, is that A site is still extraordinarily weak. Like, Split has some of the weakest sites there is. If it wasn't for B site, in my opinion, being somewhat okay, we'd have a lot of trouble, because I think A site also needed quite the rework. There was a fan-made rework by Split. I don't want to really show it on screen because it's their content, but there was a fan-made rework and it kind of expanded the A area. They kind of made it really expanded, but even if it was just somewhat expanded over on A site, it would just add some breathing room into Split and make the sites more enjoyable to play. Because right now, another huge thing is if someone were to plant A site, retaking it is just absolutely hilarious. You got the main area to enter and you got the left side area to enter, and that's it. The left side being the entrance from screen, and yeah, that's it. Like, it's such a weird, plain, boring site off its bat. Put balance aside. Engagement wise, lame. That's just my opinion. I think it's extremely lame. So that's another thing. I would have just loved to see Split reworked in a way that made it more fun. Of course, it's not like it was all bad. Riot did do some good things, and they're learning and they're applying these principles quite well. For example, they obviously removed this trash, which is a little bit of a meme, the removing of trash, like 5 months just to remove some trash. But of course, removing this trash just means someone won't sit up here and shoot you with a judge directly. That little head peek angle while someone else stands here, so then you have to deal with 2 angles. It's not all that fun having to deal with like 2 angles from there as an attacker. So that's like a good change for the attacker side. Of course, they can jump up onto the plant on this side and attack this way, but it can't be done in reverse. So that's a small change that actually makes sense. However, stuff like the other site, this site change is also really good, but it changes the angle a lot, right? I mean, these are huge changes. Obviously, you can't tuck yourself in here, which is great. The tucking corners is something that's not super fun, and I believe Riot changing these consistently has been fantastic. Of course, while standing right here on the edge, you can, though, however, this is something that hasn't been talked about, you can peek for here into here, like behind the box, into the main area where people rush, meaning attackers, right? If attackers are running this way, okay, even if they clear this corner, right? Even if they clear straight, even if they clear perfectly straight, if you're standing here, okay, this is you right here, you won't be, what is that, stick man? This is you won't be seen. But then if they get to right here, right between the box, right as they're supposed to enter towards the site, you can shoot them behind. So again, like, I just believe, yes, they're making little changes to make it a little more fun for attackers, but they're not there yet. They are literally not there yet. There's no other way to put it.